Hello, friends and tarot students. It's Samantha with Dreaming Angel Tarot. And today we continue tarot class in video number 4, where we talk about all 4 suits in what is referred to as the minor arcana. But you don't need to know that to read tarot, because reading tarot is way easier than they make it seem in books. And that's why I'm making these videos. So, on to our discussion about the suits. Now, in the last video, you learned that the suit of cups in tarot relates to the suit of hearts in our modern day playing cards. And that's an easy symbol to relate to because hearts represent, on a universal level, our emotions, our feelings, our relationships, and even our connection to spirit. Now, the suit of spades relates to the suit of swords in our modern day playing cards, and the suit of swords is about thought, communication, the written word, documents, emails, texts, phone calls, the media. You get the idea. Then the suit of diamonds relates to the suit of pentacles in the tarot. Now, you already know that diamonds are, of course, valuable. They come from the earth. And even the pentacle looks like a big gold coin. So here, of course, we're talking about money. We're talking about our relationship to money, how we get money, what we do when we get money, what do we do with it, how do we share it, those kinds of things. Also, I put our education in this category as well. You might think it falls into the category of knowledge over here with the swords, but the way I see it, your education, your skills, that is something marketable, something of value. So I put that in this category with the pentacles. And then the last one was kind of the hardest one for me to relate to in the way of our modern day playing cards. We call this the suit of clubs, but of course it doesn't look like a club at all. It looks like an animal footprint to me. But in the tarot, the suit of wands, clubs, staffs, whatever they call it, most commonly it's called the wands, relates to our work, our creative endeavors, our will, our willpower, right? And the element of fire. Pentacles, like I said, since diamonds and gold come from the earth, that relates to the element of earth. Swords, you can imagine that relates to the element of air. And of course, cups relates to the element of water. So water is associated with emotions, air is associated with thought, earth is associated with possessions and money, and fire is associated with our passions, our willpower, our creative endeavors, the things that we do, action-oriented. Okay? So those are just some basic things that you kind of need to have an understanding under your belt to effectively read tarot, I think, although it's not as hard as they make it, not at all, and it's a lot more fun than what they make it if you're trying to learn to read tarot from books. So let's do this. Like we did in the last video, let's step through the suit of pentacles and do a storyboard so that you can understand that progression that we talked about. Remember when we talked about how the numbers progress? Well, let's just relate it really quickly to a job. One, you decide on a career, or you're thinking about a career. What do you want to do? You get the idea. What do I want to do for work? And 2, you decide on a career, right? And then 3, you begin working with a company, and there's teamwork and synergies going on. And then you reach a point where you can rest and relax finally, after you've gotten some projects under your belt, and you're new at the company, and You didn't have very much vacation time, but now you've earned a rest. 5, you are not sure if you're going to stay in this position. You're kind of seeking promotion. You've worked really hard. Are you going to get the promotion? Are you going to start back over here? Are you going to move forward? Number 6, you finally do get the recognition for the hard work that you've put in. Number 7, because you've gotten recognized, now some people are kind of jealous, and they're afraid that your ideas might overshadow theirs and that they might look less valuable. You know how the corporate environment is. But, even though they express those things, all of that negativity doesn't win out, because you've worked hard, you've had great ideas, and now you're catapulted onto success. And then number 9, you've been really working hard at this. It's so hard to get so many projects off the ground, and you just have to persevere and keep going. And it's hard to draw up all the strength. And then 10, it's finally over. You launched the greatest project of your career, and you can finally sit back and reap the rewards, and maybe start another project, maybe then later on go and start a different career, different aspect. But for now, this one has reached the absolute end. So that gives you an example of how the numbers and the progression could work in your work life. Let's kind of step through the storyboard in terms of money and how you relate to money. You realize that you're going to have to do something to make money in life, right? Aces are associated with ideas, with the beginnings, with the start of things. And you're kind of a youngster, so you start tossing up ideas. And you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure, maybe I could do this for a living, do that for a living. And you finally decide, and you go to college. And this guy's working up late at night. Looks like he's studying hard. You go to college, you get a degree, and then Dad says, you know what, son? I've paid for college, and I'm not going to be giving you any more money. It's time that you went off on your own and did your own thing. And then you realize what your dad had been saying all those years, that money really doesn't grow on trees, and you have to find a way to earn it yourself. In fact, money does kind of grow on trees. That's kind of not true, but you do have to dig for it, and you do have to harvest it. And then, you know what, after you realize, you've been in the poorhouse, you go and you get a job, and you're finally making some money, and to little children you seem rich, right? You're just getting started there, earning money. And then you realize, you know what, I think Dad was right. I think that I need to plant some seeds. I need to start saving some money so that my money can grow. I need to start a savings plan. You have a little bit more money than it takes to survive, and you decided to start putting it away. But not only are you going to put it away, you're going to improve your skills so that you can continue to earn money and stay marketable. But number 9, you realize that you've reached a certain level of financial security. Things are good. You don't worry about money. It's there when you need it, and you're enjoying a pretty comfortable lifestyle. But then, lo and behold, Dad gives you another shocker, and he says, you know what, I'm going to move out of that big fat house I've been living in, and I'm going to let you and your wife and the kids move in, and I'm going to move into a small apartment. That's all I need in my later years, and I'm going to sell you the house for $1, and that's how we're going to save on inheritance tax. And then you really have all this money, and you know what else? I'm going to babysit and watch the dog while you and the wife go out and celebrate. And you feel that security, that's not only what you've earned, but it's generational, right? Yep. So that's just how the progression can work for the Suit of Pentacles. So try other storyboarding. As we progress a little further along, we're going to mix them all up, of course, because as we're going along in life, we have relationships, we have the earning money thing, we have information coming at us and so much and so quickly that we can't even sleep. Work demands our attention. We have these things going on, and that's why we shuffle the cards and they're all mixed up. And yeah, so when we do a reading, we'll see what's dominant in your life at that point. But do continue to practice storyboarding, and in the next video we're going to talk about the major arcana. All right, stay tuned.